Welcome. Yet another edition of the Stats and Stacks podcast, where today we're going over UFC 321, Aspinall versus Gane. First things first, make sure you smash that like button. Give a follow over on Twitter, over on Instagram, over on TikTok, wherever there's social media. There's the Stats and Stacks podcast. That could be a good or a bad thing because last week was a mixed bag. Bad news is Danny Barlow cost us in that decision. It cost us a ton of money. Good news is the Eamon's a hobby split went our way, and our guy, Backney Bruno, came through. We had him rounds two, three. We had him via sub at plus 1400 for our glory play, and we had him as a live dog and bet him early at plus 215 before the line dropped. So Bruno Silva saved our night, wound up being profitable all off of one fight. Otherwise, didn't get much else right, but it is what it is. That's the way it bounces. I'm hoping to get a lot more right this week. Did a lot of fight tape, did a lot of research, and ultimately are ready to just do even better this weekend. So 14 fights. It's in Abu Dhabi, so be wary of the judging and be wary of the start time. It does start super, super early at 10 a.m. start time Eastern, I believe, in regards to when everything kicks off. So 14 fights, not let's not just dilly-dally around. Let's jump into it. Very first fight of the night. We are looking at Jacqueline Omareem as a minus 400 favorite, going up against Mizuki Inoue at plus 330. Over under set at 2.5. Over 2.5 is plus 100, under 2.5 at minus 120. Why is the line that way for a women's MMA fight? It's all because of Jacqueline Almarim. She's the reason. Jacqueline Almarim is a finisher. She trains an American top team. She is 30 years old and she's the A side in this matchup. And when you look at her record, round two finish, round one finish, round one finish, round three finish, one decision, and it was a loss. Round one, round one, round one, round one, round one. Every single one of her wins are a finish. She's never won a decision. So that's why it's aligned the way it is with that over under. And she is a world class jujitsu practitioner. She's very, very, very good on the ground. And AC, I can never say, I always say AD, ACDC, ACC, whatever, you know what I'm saying. She is a brilliant Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion in regards to her ground game. Her wrestling's okay. Her striking is actually improving. It's not that bad. Problem is it's very low volume. And she does get very, very tired. That's the worst part of her game is her cardio. You'll say she got a round three win over Montserrat Ruiz. Ruiz gave little resistance whatsoever. She got easy takedowns and Almarine just stayed on top and just breathed because Ruiz wasn't going anywhere. So ultimately, her only loss was to Sam Hughes because she gassed out. Sam would not stop moving, and it ultimately gassed Almarine out. So what's the ways to beat her? Have good takedown defense, or to continually work back up to your feet, stay safe on the ground, and gas Almarine out. Can Inoue do that? No. Inoue is 31 years old, even though we haven't seen her in 2 years. She has really good losses. She has six losses, but she lost to Amanda Lemos, who fought for a title. Verna Jandiroba, who's fighting for the title this week. She lost to Alexa Grasso, a former champion. Karolina Kowalkiewicz, a former title challenger. Like, she's not losing to scrubs. She's only losing to girls that have fought for a title or have held gold. But her wins, Hannah Goldie's not good and cut. Yanan Wu's not good and cut. Pereira, Vivian Pereira's not good and cut. Or sorry, wasn't even in the UFC. So yeah, you can't be going to a split decision with Yanan Wu and expect me to bet you over Almarine. She does have good jiu-jitsu. She does have good striking. She does have good cardio. Here's the things I don't like about her. Her takedown defense is ass. So Almarine will get the fight down if she wanted to and she will play guard, and that's a problem. Sam Page kept getting back up and making Amorim work, and it got her tired. If she's just going to try to throw up triangles on the ground against Amorim, that's not going to work. Um, so if she's not going to make Amorim work, this game isn't going to work. Also, she has a history of bad knees. Like, not only does she have a bad ACL, she has two bad ACLs. So she has a lot of severe knee problems, hence her being off 2 years, hence her being off 3 years before that. This girl just cannot stay healthy to save her life. So we haven't seen her in a long time. She does not have good takedown defense. Even though she is good on the feet, she has no power whatsoever. And when you do get her down to the ground, she doesn't have an urgency to get back up. This is Amarim, and this is Amarim all day. I don't really want to touch that over under. Because in a ways, jujitsu is good. Can she stay safe the whole time? I don't know. Is she going to get up? Probably not. So the safest side is just to eat the chalk. The pick is Jacqueline Amarim. The bet is Jacqueline Amarim. Next fight of the night, we're just eating more chalk, baby. We got Azat Maxim at minus 350 going up against Mitch Raposo at plus 285. Over under set at 2.5. Over 2.5 minus 170. Under 2.5 at plus 150. Let's start with the A side and Azat Maxim. Kid's good. He's 30 years old. He also trains an American top team. He will have the crowd behind him for sure. He has good striking. He has okay striking. He has good wrestling. He has good jiu-jitsu. He's going to have a 6-inch reach advantage in this matchup. Things like he has 85% takedown defense, so he's not easy to get down to the ground. You'll see a 1-2 record in the UFC. He fought Tyson Nam to a split decision win. I personally thought he lost that fight, to be honest with you. Um, but it is what it is, and Tyson Nam is a very tough out. Charles Johnson is a top five, top 10 guy in the weight class. He absolutely murdered Charles Johnson. Then he got really, really tired going for the finish and ultimately succumbed to cardio. And then his last fight was against Tagir Ulianbekov, who is really close to fighting for a title. One of Habib's boys. Took it on short notice and gave him a go. It was a very, very close fight. So he's somewhere in between Charles Johnson and Tagir Ulianbekov, and that is nowhere near the level of Mitch Raposo. Mitch Raposo is nowhere; he can't even think of getting to that level. So, all in all, Maxim's a very good fighter. I just wish he threw a little more. He's very low volume, which makes him pretty hittable. But outside of that, good wrestling, good jiu-jitsu, serviceable striking. Like the dude's a legit fighter. On the other side of Mitch Raposo, it's not really his fault. He's just tiny. 125 is as small as they go in men's fights in the UFC. And he looks so small out there. He has good wrestling. He has okay striking. He's super quick. His jiu-jitsu's okay. His volume's not good though. He's also very low volume. He's even more low volume than Maxim. And that also makes him hittable. So they both have the same weakness. In regards to wrestling, I will say Maxim is probably just a little bit better. In regards to striking, Maxim hits harder, even though Raposo is quicker. In regards to jiu-jitsu, I will say it's advantage Maxim. In regards to level of competition, it's advantage Maxim. In regards to the crowd, the judges are going to want to give it to Maxim. Maxim has the reach advantage. Maxim should get this W. The minus 350 is justified. I don't think Mitch Raposo is a bad fighter, but I do think he is just simply too small in the UFC. The flyweight division in the UFC is a tough division, and he's just simply too small. Pick is Maxim. The bet is Maxim. Next fight of the night. Whoa, baby. We have Chris Barnett at plus 285 going up against Hamdi Abdul Wahab at minus 350. Over under set at 1.5. Over 1.5 minus 190. Under 1.5 plus 165. I'd like to bet a draw because they both suck. But most likely somebody's got to win this fight. So let's start with Hamdi. Hamdi's 32 years old. He's the Egyptian in this matchup, so he will have the crowd behind him. He is an Egyptian Olympic wrestler, so he does have good wrestling. His striking is coming along. It's not good, but it's coming along. It's okay. But his cardio's trash. He's very, very hittable on the feet. I wouldn't say low volume, but it's not high. It's and he doesn't really utilize his wrestling as much as you would like him to. He gets tired when he wrestles, so he's been striking as of late. And in his little striking expedition, he lost to Muhammad Usman, which is not a good look. And he won a split decision over Jamal Pogues that was very, very questionable. He took a long break after his initial UFC win over Dontel Mays, which was awesome. We had Hamdi. I was the only one that bet Hamdi that night because Dontel Mays can't wrestle, and he was fighting an Egyptian Olympic wrestler. I thought he could go out there and out grapple him, and he seemingly did to an extent. Downtown Maze took himself down in one of the rounds, but he didn't get back up. So good job, Hamdi. But I never want to bet Hamdi again. It did not feel good. Hamdi is not a good fighter. He is probably he might be the worst heavyweight on the roster. If he's not, it's probably his opponent in Chris Barnett. And I use that term heavyweight loosely because he is 5'9". I saw a stat earlier that Brandon Royval, who is a 125-pound flyweight fighter in the UFC, is 5'9". He's the same height at flyweight, whilst Chris Barnett is 5'9" at heavyweight. He shouldn't be there. He should be at 185 tops, to be honest with you. He's 39 years old, so he's getting kind of up there. They have a 2-inch reach advantage. That's nice. And he is a very good striker. He has a Taekwondo background and will definitely have the striking advantage in this matchup. His volume's okay. He throws a little more than Hamdi does, but he is still hittable on the feet. His cardio is just as bad as Hamdi's. His wrestling is trash if Hamdi wanted to utilize his wrestling, which he has in his last two fights, so I don't know. We will see. His jiu-jitsu is not very good, neither is Hamdi's. And you can chin check Chris Barnett. That's the one thing I will say is Hamdi's pretty durable. Chris Barnett is not. I've seen him hurt. I've seen him rocked. I've seen him knocked out on multiple occasions. And he's coming off a ton of significant injuries. He has really, really bad ACLs, and I really do think he's out there fighting for a paycheck. He's a novelty fighter. He's a fun fighter, but he's not very good. He might be the worst heavyweight on the UFC roster. One of these two are probably it, and we're about to find out. So at the end of the day, I'll side with Hamdi. Do I want to bet him? No. Um, do I want to touch the over under? I really don't want to do that either. This is a complete stay away. Please do not bet this fight. But gun to my head, I will pick Hamdi Abdul-Wahab and I will bet Hamdi Abdul-Wahab solely on the fact that it's in Saudi Arabia. Abu Dhabi. Next fight of the night is an interesting one. We have Jose Delgado at minus 145 going up against Nathaniel Wood at plus 125. Over 2.5, minus 145. Under 2.5 at plus 125. Let's start with Jose Delgado. Jose Delgado is an interesting case. He is the main protege of Benson Henderson, former lightweight champion of the UFC. Delgado is 10-1. He's 27 years old, so he's just entering his prime. He has a 4-inch reach advantage, which is super nice. He has really good striking, and if I could think of one word for him, it's just scrappy. His takedown defense is okay. But if you do take him down, his get-up game is very urgent. Urgent doesn't do it justice. This dude knows where his bread is buttered, and he wants to get up to his feet right away. He does not play off his back. Says, fuck that. We'll do anything he can to get up. He has a 100% finish rate, and he never stops pressuring, and he never stops throwing. His jiu-jitsu's okay. His power's okay. He'll even mix in takedowns here and there if he wants to. His cardio's good. He does not. I haven't seen him get tired. He started to slow down in one fight, but he still got the finish, and he took that fight on short notice on the Contender Series. So I'll cut him a little bit of slack there. Not only did he look a little tired, but he got the finish when he looked tired on short notice. So impressive stuff. He throws really good volume. MMA lab product. So he's training with Marcus McGee and with Sean. Well, not Sean O'Malley's not there as much anymore. Neither is Casey Kenny. The Mario Batistas and those guys, the Kyler Phillips. If you're a lighter weight in a lighter weight class, um, that's a really, really good place to be. All of them seem to be 135 pounders. He's a 145 pounder, so he can go all out, and it doesn't matter because he's not going to have to fight these guys later on. They're in a different weight class. So I like everything about this kid. I think he is on the up and up, and he is on an ascending rocket ship. On the other side, we have Nathaniel Wood, who's actually a very, very good fighter. And Nathaniel Wood is still in his prime for now. He's 32 years old. He has good striking. He has good jiu-jitsu. He'll mix in a takedown here and there. He likes a lot of trips opposed to just traditional single and double legs or body locks. He likes a lot of Muay Thai trips and such for his takedowns. Um, He has 72% takedown defense, which is an okay rate, and he's good everywhere. He's essentially a generalist. The problem he's fought a decent level of competition, a lot better competition than Jose Delgado has fought. So that's another thing. Delgado has handled everyone accordingly as he progressed up the ranks, but this is going to be the toughest test yet. The problems with Nathaniel Wood. First and foremost, he's chinny. He has been chin checked in multiple fights and he's been knocked out in fights. So his chin does leave me concerned. He seems to get chin checked in every single fight. We saw Morgan Charrier didn't really hurt him, but Daniel Pineda hurt him. Muhammad Naimov rocked him twice. Andre Fili dropped him. Charles Jourdain, nothing happened there. Nothing happened against Charles Rosa. John Castaneda hurt him, and John Dotson knocked him out cold. So, yeah, we've seen this guy hurt multiple times, and we've seen him out cold in the UFC. Other thing is John Dotson, Casey Kenny, John Castaneda, Charles Rosa, all these guys are 135-pound fighters. He decided to go up to 145, and he's just small. He's just really, really, really tiny. I talked about Mitch Raposo. It's not his fault. They don't have anything smaller than 125. Nathaniel, they do. They have 135, and that's where he needs to be. He should not be at 145. I'm not trying to body shame anyone. He's made the weight before. I'm not just making a statement saying he should be down there. He can make it. He fought majority of his career at 135. I understand your body gets bigger as you get older. Believe me, I understand. And if he was legit hurting himself to get down to 135, okay, I understand the move. But just body frame type. He's a 35 pounder in frame, in stature. And that's a problem going up against Jose Delgado. I know it's a big step up, but Delgado is massive. Delgado is even bigger than Feely was, and he had some issues with Feely's length. So that 4-inch reach advantage, that pressure, that power against a small, chinny fighter, not a good look. So the pick is going to be Jose Delgado. The bet's going to be Jose Delgado. I think he passes this test. Next fight of the night. Oh boy. We have Louis Sutherland at plus 260 going up against Walter Walker at minus 310. Over under set at 1.5. Over 1.5 is minus 120. Under 1.5 at plus 100. Why is it set at 1.5? Because of this man, Walter Walker. Walter Walker is 27 years old. He'll probably have the crowd behind him. I know he's Brazilian, but he trains in Russia, so he should have the crowd. And he does have a 2.5-inch reach advantage. Unlike his brother, Johnny Walker, he's not a striker. He is a grappler, and that's why he decides to train in Russia. He has good wrestling. He has good jiu-jitsu. His striking is not great. His cardio is absolute trash. But he's the knee bar king. He's gone out there and he realized that heavyweights don't know what jiu-jitsu is. And I'm sorry, heel hook. He's the heel hook king. He is heel hooking everyone. He heel hooked Kennedy. Actually, take it back. He watched, so he heel hooked Junior Tafa. Okay. Junior Tafa, he heard the 10-second clapper, said, fuck it, I'm just going to drop for a heel hook and see if I can get it. Got the submission against Junior Tafa with 4 seconds left. Realized I have a really good heel hook, and I'm going against Don'Tale Mayes. Don'Tale Mayes got heel hooked by Ciryl Gane. That is Ciryl Gane's only submission win on his record. And he's like, you know what? Don'Tale has bad jiu-jitsu, and I just finished with a heel hook. I'm going to go for it on Don'Tale. And what did he do? He heel hooked Don'Tale Mayes in 1 minute and 17 seconds. Then he put in his head, you know what? I have a lot of setups for the heel hook. I am the new Claudio Puelles with his knee bars. I am the heavyweight version with heel hooks, and I'm going to heel hook Kennedy. You just watch. He goes out there and he heel hooks Kennedy in under a minute. They're getting quicker. At this rate, he's about to heel hook someone in 30 seconds. Like, it's ridiculous. But that's all he talks about. All he talks about is heel hooking, heel hooking. I am the best. I have a ton of ways to get to it. I don't like that. I don't like that. I like him to get on top in the hold position. If he's not going to hold position and he's going to have a big fat man get on top of him, that's not good because Walter does not have good cardio. If someone goes out there and doesn't get heel hooked and forces Walter to work off his back, it's game over. Is it going to be Louis Sutherland? Probably not. I mean, Louis Sutherland's making his UFC debut. He's 31 years old. He's predominantly a striker, although I have seen him mix in takedowns here and there. He knows what wrestling is. Jiu-jitsu is not great, but he's cognizant of what it is, unlike some other heavyweights. Level of competition is trash. He has not fought anyone good whatsoever. He fought in the PFL once. That's cool. But it, it didn't go well. Like they didn't sign him, so that's not a good look. I mean, the guys he's fighting are 4-1 and 5-2 and 5-2, and the guys he did fight that were decent. Slim fights over in the PFL. He's okay, but Slim beat him. Um, what's the other guy's name? Abraham Babley. He's pretty decent. He's over in the PFL doing well. But he beat him. So he fought two guys that have a pulse, and they both beat him. So all the guys that are 4-1 fighting over in LFL, wherever the hell that is, yeah, he goes out there and dominates them, but they're not very good. I don't know if he's good because no one he's fighting is good, and the two guys he fought that were decent beat him. It went to decision, so that's nice to see. He's durable, he's tough, but I just don't really know what he is. I do know that I've seen him on the ground before. I do know that he's watched Walter Walker fight before. Walter's going for a heel hook. He knows this. This is the guys that fight Claudio Puelles. He got like three of them in a row, and then all of a sudden he hasn't been able to get any. They drill it and drill it and drill it, and they seem to get a hold of it. I'm certain Sutherland is drilling heel hook defense as we speak right now. He's somewhere practicing and drilling because he refuses to get heel hooked. He's mentioned it. And as long as he can stay safe, and if he goes around and puts that 265-pound frame on top of Walter Walker and get him tired, Louis is live, man. I think that Walker eventually, if it's not this fight, it's one coming up. Walter Walker is going to beat himself, believing in his own hype in this heel hook. It's going to hurt him. Do I want to be late to the party? No. I was almost late to the party with Bakoev. I kept saying I want to fade him. I think I have one more fight before I can fade him. I saw how the first round went, and I jumped in quick and bet Uruguay and ultimately got the win. I didn't get the odds that started, but it was still plus money. I think it could be the same thing here. If Walter goes for a knee, if he goes for a heel hook and doesn't get it, I want to like bet Louis, to be honest with you. But I don't know if I'll get the chance. So for that reason, I'll go out. I'll pick Walter Walker. He should be the better fighter, but I think he's going to hurt himself, and I don't want to be too late. So the pick is Walter. The bet's going to be the over 1.5. I'm not going to pick a side. I'm just going to assume that Louis can stay safe, and as long as he can stay safe, minus 120 are good odds. So the pick is Walter, but the bet is either dog or pass in Sutherland or just the over 1.5 at minus 120. Next fight of the night, we have Abdul Karim Al Sawadi at minus 120 going up against Mateus Camilo at plus 100. Over under set at 1.5. Over 1.5 minus 245. Under 1.5 at plus 200. Let's start with the crowd favorite in Al Sawadi. He's not a terrible fighter. He's 30 years old, so he's in his prime. He will definitely have the crowd behind him. He has okay striking. He has okay wrestling. He has good cardio. His jiu-jitsu's okay. And he loves to fight off his back foot. He circles and he circles and he circles and he counter strikes. He circles, he circles, he circles, he counter strikes, he circles, he'll shoot a takedown. That's what he does. Counter strike, takedown. Counter strike, takedown. And he can do this for 15 straight minutes. The dude is jacked as all hell, but does have good cardio. Like he can go a hard 15 minutes doing this game plan, fighting off his back foot. And part of the reason he does that is because his chin is ass. It's really bad. Like if you touch this guy, he's going out. It doesn't matter how hard, it doesn't matter how hard you can hit. He is 15-4. All four losses are by KO. Loic knocked him out in round three. Dumar Roa, whatever, Needham in round one. Luana Santiago spinning back fists in round one. Aziz, whatever, punches in round one. Like, it's not even like it's taking long. It's round one KOs. The dude, if he gets hit, he's going out. And he knows this. He's training at a good camp in Fortis. And I think that's why he developed, instead of just his pressure, wrestle heavy style, he has this counter striking, circling style. And he just mixes in takedowns here and there because he does not want to get touched. At least he has a good IQ and he's cognizant of the fact that he has no chin. It does concern me that he hasn't fought in nearly 2 years. It's been 19 months since we saw this guy getting knocked out by Loic. But at the end of the day, at least he gave his chin time to recover. He's still only 30 years old. He's not a bad fighter. He is an okay wrestler and he's a decent counter striker. He just has no fucking chin. If you touch him and you have any semblance of power, he's going out. So you're playing with fire whenever you bet him. And I'm ready to play with fire because I do not believe in Camilo whatsoever. Camilo's only 24 years old, so he could be getting better. Maybe he's gotten better, but I'm gonna need to see it because what I saw on tape, his striking's okay. His jujitsu, I want to say it's okay. He has a good triangle. That's about it. Defensively, big liability. He has three losses, and all three of them are by submission. So these guys have been finished 7 times, all 7 times, or these guys have 7 losses, all 7 losses are by finish, and all the same way. Al Sawadi, all by KO. Camilo, all by submission. So you know where their weaknesses are. He has okay power, but he is also a counter striker. So we have counter striker on counter striker. Camilo can slow down. I will give Abdul Sawadi the cardio edge. And in regards to volume, it is Abdul again. Camilo does not throw a lot. He's very low volume. He hits decently hard. Um, so if he touches Al Sawadi is going out. It's just, is he going to throw enough? He's going to throw like 30 devastating strikes within these 15 minutes. And can he catch him once? Is what it really turns into. And it's going to be hard if he gets taken down. He does play a little bit of a jiu-jitsu game. He won't just get straight up and with an urgent get-up game. He will play jiu-jitsu and try to hit that triangle. It's pretty quick, and he's pretty decent at it. I will give him, he is a really, really fast, very, very good triangle. But outside of that, he will play guard quite a bit. He doesn't have the world's greatest takedown defense. So if this stays on the feet, Sawadi will outvolume him and win as long as he doesn't get caught. If this goes down to the ground, Al Sawadi should be able to stay safe on top and go to a decision. And Al Sawadi will also have the crowd behind them, so they won't just be booing as he's on top. So for that reason, really low odds. It's basically a pick 'em. I'll go ahead and I'll pick Al Sawadi. I'll ultimately bet Al Sawadi, but no, you are playing with fire. If he touches, it only takes one with this dude. Dude does not have a good chin. Next fight of the night. Speaking of chins, we have Mateusz Rebecki at plus 115 going up against Ludovic Klein at -3 or minus 135. Over under set at 2.5. Over 2.5 minus 150. Under 2.5 at plus 130. Let's start with Rebecki. Rebecki's good, man. He's really good. He's 33 years old. He has good wrestling. He has okay jiu-jitsu. He has okay striking. He throws a ton of volume, really, really high volume. He does slow down in his fights, throwing all that volume. He has decent power and he pressures you. He just keeps coming forward like a little bowling ball. He's very, very short in stature, but very, very jacked. One of those short, jack, stocky types. Ton of muscle. Level of competition's pretty decent. Fighting Oral by, fighting Chris Duncan, fighting Diego Ferreira, or CDF Carlos Diego Ferreira. Like these are good fighters that he's going up against. Problem is he got into an absolute war with CDF. Ultimately succumbed to just the damage and the cardio. Went into an absolute war against Mitchell Orobai, and then had an absolute war against Chris Duncan. Like these are hurting his durability. He's getting hurt more and more in all of these fights because all of his fights are exciting. All of them are fun to watch. But you watch all of those brawlers that eventually all of a sudden start getting knocked out over and over and over again with no chin, like the Tony Ferguson types. Rebecki's on his way. Rebecki puts on some of the most exciting fights I've ever seen in the octagon, and it's costing him his career. It's just he needs time to recover, and that's the scariest part here. That absolute like fight of the year candidate against Chris Duncan was August 2nd. It was 2 months ago. There's no way he's fully recovered in 2 months. You need 3 to 6 months to get your durability back. So he left a part of himself in the octagon and he's jumping back into it. I don't like that whatsoever. I think it's too much. It's too soon. If he fights anyone with any semblance of power, I think Rebecki's in some trouble. Is Ludovic Klein that guy? I don't know. Ludovic Klein's really, really good, and he does hit decently hard, but he kicks a lot harder than he hits. Klein has that left head kick that is just very Crow Cop-esque, sending people to hospitals. He's 30 years old, so he's in his prime. He'll have a 6.5 inch reach advantage, which Rebecca is used to. He has good striking. Again, his power is he hits decently hard, but it's his kicks that are going to put Rebecca out. 74% takedown defense, but his jiu-jitsu's trash. So he has a good first, like, initial takedown defense, but if you do get him down, he doesn't have a lot of urgency to get back up either. His volume's not very high. Rebecca like doubles or almost triples him in regards to the amount that it's thrown out. His cardio has looked good and it's looked bad. It looked real good in his last fight against Gamrot. It looked good against Roosevelt Roberts. It looked pretty bad against uh, Nate Landwehr. It looked pretty bad against Mike Trizano. So we've seen it looked okay against Mason Jones. Like you never really know what you're gonna get in regards to his cardio, to be honest with you. Um, and the only way where I see kind of similarities are Mike Trizano pressures forward, Nate Landwehr pressures forward. And when he has to fight off his back foot nonstop, Mason Jones pressures forward. And those are the fights where he's getting tired. If you press this guy and make him go a hard 15 minutes, he does get tired often. Um, that's what Rebecca does. That's his fight style. It's just a matter of can Rebecca make it 15 minutes after taking all of that damage within this last calendar year? I don't know. If he does, it's going to be a dog fight. And it's going to be fight of the night, as it always is. Um, I I don't know. I really don't know what to do with this fight. Klein loves to counter, and Rebecca's gonna give him a shit ton to counter. He's just gonna keep coming forward. So I see Rebecca out-voluming Klein, but Klein landing the better shots. And if Klein drops him, it's just a matter of does that steal him the round or not. This has split written all over it, or Klein KO. I'm more inclined to say that Klein wins this fight. I do think Klein wins this fight, but I think it should be a pick 'em. Rebecca at plus 120. That's the way I got to lean in regards to a bet. So the pick is going to be Ludovic Klein. The bet's going to be Matthias Rebecca. If Rebecca rested, I would definitely say he's one of my favorite dogs. But because I'm scared of that chin, it's a dog or pass situation. It's only because of the line. Next fight of the night. Speaking of bad chins, Ikram Aliskerov at minus 240 going up against Jung Yong Park at the Iron Turtle at plus 205. Over under set at 2.5. And it's a straight pick up minus 115 straight across the board. We talked about bad chins. Let's start with Ikram. Ikram has a bad chin. He has two career losses. They're both by first round KO. And you're like, well, they were to Hamzat and they were to Robert Whitaker. Cut him some slack. That's true. But I saw him in some of his UAE Warrior fights, or sorry, Eagle FC fights, getting rocked and hurt a lot, like Dennis Tululian hurting him. And then we saw Dennis Tululian in the UFC, and that's not a good look. Uh, Ultimately, when he does get hit, it doesn't look good. He does not have good optics. He does not have a chin. He does have a 3 inch reach advantage. He does have a youth advantage being 32. He does have the crowd behind him if it hits the judges. He does have very good wrestling. He has good jiu-jitsu. His striking's not bad. He's just a little overconfident in it, the same way Bakoev was last week. I really do think Bakoev and Ikram are on the same level and act the same way, are in the same weight class. They're basically the same fucking thing. They both have bad cardio and bad chins. Really good wrestling, good jiu-jitsu, okay striking, but they're overly confident in it with a little bit of power in them. That they're the exact same thing. It is Bakoev 2.0. Um, and a lot of times he just doesn't wrestle until he gets cracked. He wants to stand and bang and prove that he's a good striker, and then he gets cracked with a good one and goes, "Oh shit, time to wrestle." Like he does that. Is Park going to be able to hit it hard enough to get him out of there? Because what happened is Bobby Knuckles hit him so hard he didn't get a chance to decide to wrestle. Hamza hit him so hard he didn't get a chance to start wrestling. Does Jung Young Park hit that hard? No. He hits decent enough, and he can put Ikaram out, but it'll be more of like a rock 'em and then an accumulation, a TKO. He doesn't have a lot of one hitter quitter in him. He's a generalist. He's an okay jiu-jitsu practitioner. He's an okay wrestler. He's an okay offensively. He's an okay striker. He has okay power. He has pretty decent durability. In regards to his losses, he's lost 6 times, but he lost to Andre Muniz in a very questionable split decision. He lost to Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, who's about to fight for a title. Gregory Rodriguez, who's a top 15 guy. He lost to Shavkat Rakhmonov, who's about to fight for a title. Like he's only lost to good fighters. So it is what it is. In regards to his wins, Marc-Andre Barrios, John Phillips is bad. Stefan Nchukwi is bad. Eric Anders is and I thought he lost that fight. Joseph Holmes is bad. Dennis Tululian is bad. Albert Duraev is bad. Brad Tavares is old. Ismail Nardiev isn't that good. So like his wins aren't great. His losses are. So where does he actually lie and where does Ikaram lie? Is Ikaram closer to a Brad Tavares, Ismail Nardiev, or is he closer to a Gregory Robocop, Anthony Hernandez? Uh, I would say Ikaram is probably closer. He's in the middle of RoboCop and Nardiev. He's somewhere in the middle there. So for that reason, I will go ahead and I'll pick Ikaram. I think Ikaram should win this fight. Am I trusting him at these odds? No, absolutely not. I do think Park is live, and I said if it's anything over like plus 190, plus 200, I would bet Park. It is at plus 205. So by the slimmest of margins, it's a pick Ikaram, bet Park, but not a lot of confidence. This is another one you should just stay away from, but it's dog or pass for me. Next fight of the night, we have a straight pick 'em, homie. We have Quinlan Solkilled at minus 115 going up against Nazareth Akparas at minus 115. This line has been flip-flopping all week. Over under set at 2.5, over 2.5 minus 200, under 2.5 plus 175. Let's start with Quinlan Solkilled. I think he's good, man. Quinlan Solkilled is 25 years old, so he's only getting better each and every fight. He's 9-1, so he did go ahead and get an L out of the way. He has good strike. He has okay striking, but he does have good wrestling. He has a 3-inch reach advantage. He has good cardio. He throws with a ton of volume, and his jiu-jitsu is very good. He does back up and he does counter quite a bit, but then he shoots takedowns. That's all he does. He counters, takedown, counter, takedown. And it looks like he does slow down a little bit in some of his fights. But when you really look at it, Gage Young, he shot 22 takedowns. That's a lot. It's a lot of takedowns to be shooting. Then he knocked out Jubilee in just 19 seconds. And then he fought Yanal Ashmus and shot 23 takedowns. The dude will shoot all fucking night. And the dude's a decent wrestler. He's not the world's greatest wrestler, but he kind of fluffies you. Fluffy's not the world greatest wrestler, but he keeps shooting until eventually he gets one, and he has a really good top game, a really good jiu-jitsu game, and is able to just kind of bury you down there. He is 25-year-old Australian Fluffy. That's what he is. Fluffy doesn't get tired at all and keeps the same pace. Quinlan will slow, but he will fight while tired. He will keep going and he will get tired, but he's making you tired with him. On the other side, we have Nazareth Akparas, and this is an interesting case. Akparas is 30 years old. He'll definitely have the crowd behind him. He's a very good striker, a pretty big striking edge in this matchup. He throws a ton of volume. He throws a ton of volume. He has good cardio himself. He also likes to counter, so it's counter striker versus counter striker. So that'll be interesting. But here's the issue. He has 84% takedown defense, and let's play a little game. Tell me when he fought a good wrestler who wrestled, okay? Esteban Ribovic doesn't wrestle. Jared Gordon doesn't necessarily wrestle. Jamie Malarkey can wrestle a little bit, but he knocked him out in a minute and 40 seconds. He didn't get a chance to wrestle. Landon Quinones doesn't wrestle. John Medeski doesn't know how to shoot a takedown. King Green doesn't know how to shoot a takedown. Dan Hooker can't wrestle, but Dan Hooker took him down not one, not two, three times. Dan Hooker out-grappled Nazareth Haqparast. Not only did he take him down, he almost choked him out twice, so that's concerning. Rafa Garcia is actually a very good wrestler, but he took the fight on short notice, and ultimately did not shoot any takedowns. Al Munoz is actually a good wrestler, but he only shot three takedowns. He didn't keep going. Drew Dober doesn't wrestle. Joaquim Silva doesn't wrestle. So yeah, 84% takedown defense, but no one attempted to take you down. And the one guy that did go for a few takedowns was an Australian kickboxer, and he got three. He's a tall, lanky Australian striker, and he got three takedowns. Now he's going against a tall, lanky Australian grappler. Like, this is concerning. I am actually genuinely concerned that he might get choked out here. But if that 84% takedown defense is real, I'm concerned for Quinlan on defeat. So it comes down to takedowns. Can Quinlan fluffy Nazareth? Can Quinlan Marab Nazareth? He should be able to. I don't like it being in Australia going to Abu Dhabi though. That is a 17-hour flight. 7-hour time zone difference. That's gonna be tough for Quinlan to adjust. So you see these guys flying halfway across the world, and sometimes their performance isn't what it's supposed to be. If this is a neutral field, it's Quinlan all day. Because Quinlan has to go through all that traveling, I was okay with him being a dog. Now it's a pick 'em. I don't really want to touch it. In all honesty, the over is probably the safest bet. The pick is going to be Quinlan. Still, I'll trust the wrestling, but I am scared that going across the world like that is going to affect him, especially a 25-year-old kid. But just going to hope that it's okay. And the bet should just be the over 2.5. I want to do that. I feel like it's safe. But again, if Quinlan does get him down, he can probably submit uh, Nazareth. Like, Dan Hooker almost submitted him. That really scared me. When I went back and watched that fight, it's all Dan Hooker around his neck. So the pick is going to be Quinlan. The bet's going to be the over or just Quinlan trusting that travel. Then we're into the main card. We have Alexander Rakic at plus 100 going up against Azmat Mirzakhanov at minus 120. Over under at 2.5, and that is a straight pick 'em, homie. Let's start with Alexander Rakic. Alexander Rakic is 33 years old. He's going to have a significant 6.5 inch reach advantage. And he's another generalist. He has good striking, he has good wrestling, he has okay jiu-jitsu. His cardio's okay. He'll mix in a takedown here and there, probably 1 to 2 a fight. Um, his cardio's all right, but he can slow down just a touch. And he prefers to back up and counter as well. He does not like going forward. He likes fighting off of his back foot. Um, the problem with that in this matchup is that Murder Khanov, is his nickname, is a blitzer. He's not someone that just pressure forward and allows you to counter. He's someone that blitzes. So I don't know how Rakic is going to handle that. Maybe he's just going for takedowns. And he has good L's. I mean, you go ahead, you look at his record. He has 5 career losses. He lost to Magomed Ankalaev, who was the former champ, Yuri Prohaska, the former champ, Jan Blachowicz, the former champ, Volkan Ozdemir, the former title challenger. He's never lost to anyone that has not fought for or held gold. On the flip side, though, it is very reminiscent to earlier where he hasn't beat anyone. He beat Thiago Santos, who's not in the UFC anymore. He beat Anthony Smith, who's not in the UFC anymore. He beat Jimmy Manuel, who's not in the UFC anymore. He beat Devin Clark, who's not in the UFC anymore. He beat Justin Ledet, who's not in the UFC anymore. He beat Francismar Barroso, who's not in the UFC anymore. Zero wins over people on the active roster, zero losses against anyone who has not fought for a title. Where is this guy? I don't really know. I do like the fact that he's a dog in this matchup, especially against Murder Khanov, because Murder Khanov is still a little unproven. I like the guy. He's fun, but he's 15-0, and we know those undefeated fighters keep losing in 2025. Secondly, level of competition isn't great. On the regional scene, he didn't really fight anyone. And since he's been in the UFC, he's coming off a win over Bredson Ribeiro, who's god awful. Alonzo Menifield's not great. Dustin Jacoby is decent. But that was a very close fight. He just dropped Jacoby twice, but Jacoby outlanded him and was winning the striking exchanges. He just got dropped, kept getting dropped, and he's chinny now, kind of. Devin Clark, he knocked out, but Devin Clark's not very good. And Tafon Njokuani, that's the one. Tafon was whooping his ass. and then he ultimately went out there and got hit with a flying knee and put out. So the dude's a really good striker. The dude is really, really fast, mainly because he's not supposed to be at 205. He's very small. I guess that's just a theme of this card. Monsters versus small men. We had Nathaniel Wood, we have Mitch Raposa. Now we have Murder Konov, who's fighting in the wrong weight class. Chris Barnett's in the wrong weight class. Um, Good striking, good karate style. Blitzes in. Will mix in takedowns here and there, but he's a Russian who doesn't like to wrestle. He's a striking Russian. I don't like that. 83% takedown defense, so you can at least use it defensively. But again, against who? His level of competition's not very good. He's just a quick power puncher who slows down in his fights too. He gets very, very tired in his fights. So, in regards to striking, it's Murder Khanov. In regards to wrestling, I think it's a wash. In regards to jiu-jitsu, it's Rackage. Level of competition, it's Rackage. That's not a lot to go off of. So for that, it's pretty much just dog or pass for me. Murder Khanov's going to have to prove it, and that 15 and 0 is really scaring me because all of these undefeated guys are losing, and there's not really any other undefeated guys on this card. So the pick is going to be Alexander Rakic. The bet's going to be Rakic. Don't feel good about it. Don't really like Rakic. Murdercon will also have the crowd behind him, but we will see. Next fight of the night. Speaking of the crowd, Alexander Volkov plus 195 going up against Jailton Almeida at minus 230. Over under set at 1.5 and is yet again a pick 'em. Let's start with the crowd favorite in Alexander Volkov. Volkov is cool, man. I love Drago. Drago is good striking. He's 36 years old, which is okay for heavyweight. He has good jujitsu, or he has okay jujitsu. He has wrestling 72% takedown defense, but that number is a little skewed at heavyweight. He has good cardio. He has a great level of competition. I mean, this dude has fought Gane. This dude has fought Aspinall. This dude has fought Sergey Pavlovich, Tai Tuivasa, Alexander Romanov, Rosenstruck, Tybura, Gane twice, actually. Alistair Overeem, Curtis Blades, like this, Derek Lewis, this dude is Fabricio Verdum, Stefan Struve. He has fought everyone, and he is good. He was always the very, very skinny, tall string bang with nonstop cardio, really good striking, with bad takedown defense. He packed on about 20 pounds of muscle. He now hits a lot harder. He now has better takedown defense, but he does slow down a little bit more now. And he's not like bendy, I should say. He keeps getting subbed. Like he got subbed by Tom Aspinall and it didn't look good at all. And he kept getting taken down by Cyril Gane. And that's what scares me here. Cyril Gane had a double leg on him. I don't know if he just wasn't expecting it, but Cyril Gane took him down twice. And Cyril Gane is known for how bad his wrestling is. So very, very concerning with how stiff he is. I don't know if it's because he's 36 now or all the muscle he put on. Although he hits harder, he's just a lot more stiff out there. Now he's getting subbed. Now he's getting taken down. Not a fan of that, but I do love that he has power now. That's good. I like that. Um, on the other side, we have Jailton Almeida, who is, again, a much smaller man, not in the right weight class. Jailton Almeida is a light heavyweight who decided, I don't want to cut weight anymore. Heavyweights are fat and slow. I'm going to just be explosive. And it is working. Jailton's 34 years old. He has world-class jiu-jitsu, probably the best jiu-jitsu at heavyweight. His wrestling is very good. His striking's not bad. He actually has decent striking. You just don't see it a lot because of a few factors. One, volume extremely low. Does not throw punches whatsoever. When he does throw them, they look crisp. Like he's a good striker. He just doesn't like doing it. Secondly, he's very chinny. That could be part of the reason why he goes out there and shoots doubles right away, like he's Hamzat fucking Chimaev. He cannot take a punch. He has three career losses, and they're all by KO. Curtis Blades knocked him out earlier in his career. He does have a decision loss, and then this other guy knocked him out in 16 seconds. So yeah, he does not have a chin. I've seen him rocked on multiple occasions. Sergey Spivak rocked him. We saw none of these people rocked him because he just took him down right away. Yep, he just keeps taking him down. But I've seen him rocked in his regional scene. I've seen him knocked out more than once. He ultimately goes out there. He throws a front kick. and then shoots a takedown. Once he gets the takedown, he will then climb to your back and submit you very, very, very quickly. That's his whole game. Can he do that to Volkov, who knows it's coming? I don't know. Volkov he does have good fight IQ and he generally is ready for stuff. And I was all in on betting Volkov. I think he's well prepared for this fight. I think overall striking, it's Volkov. In regards to level of competition, it's Volkov. In regards to cardio, I've seen Almeida gas more than once. It's Volkov. Almeida has a bad chin and bad cardio. Like that's not good. Um, I was all in on Volkov. Then I watched that Todd fight and watched him get blast doubled by a French kickboxer, and I can't not look away. I see Jailton doing that with ease, and if he gets on top of him, I look at the Americana that Tom hit real easily on Volkov. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I think ultimately he's going to find a sub. So the best fight or the best bet is for the fight not to go the distance. But in regards to an actual fight pick and bet, the pick is going to be Almeida. The bet's going to be fight doesn't go the distance. I'll be juiced. So the bet's going to ultimately have to be Almeida minus 230. Next fight of the night. We talked about crowd favorites. This is going to be the biggest one on the card. We have Umar Nurmagomedov at minus 525 going up against Mario Batista at plus 410. Over under set at 2.5. Over 2.5 minus 260. Under 2.5 at plus 215. Let's start with the big crowd guy and Umar Nurmagomedov. Cousin Umar is 29 years old. Underrated striking. He's a very, very, very good striker. 29 in his prime from Russia, so he's going to have the crowd way behind him. World class wrestling, world class jiu-jitsu, good cardio, good volume. Cousin Umar has no wrong. He literally has no flaw. He's good everywhere. He got robbed. That's what it comes down to. It was 2-2 going into the fifth round. Very close fifth round, but ultimately he got tired. And you don't have to have bad cardio to get tired fighting Marab. Marab's cardio is just infinite. That's what it comes down to. And Umar has good cardio. He just doesn't have Marab cardio. So that's what happened. He got tired in one round. Just one round he got tired in, and he ultimately lost the fight. It cost him the fight. It cost him a title. He also broke his hand during that fight. So the one thing Umar doesn't have that dog in him. He's a very technical fighter, and he is very, very prideful. But he is a mixed. I would affiliate him with being. I associate him as being a mixed martial artist, not a fighter. If I'm out in a bar or something in a bar fight, Cousin Umar is not who I want. Give me the real gritty guys. In regards to like teaching me to fight in the UFC, Cousin Umar is who I want. He's a very, very technical being, a very, very skilled fighter, literally skilled everywhere. I just need a little more dog to come out. Maybe that loss is what he needed to bring that dog out. On the other side, we have Mario Batista. Mario Batista is 32 years old. He's another one of these MMA lab products. He's a good striker. He has okay jiu-jitsu. He has okay wrestling. He has good cardio, really good fight IQ. He does what he has to do to get the job done. Patchy Mix, he knew not to grapple with that guy, and stood and bang and struck the entire time. Against Jose Aldo, he knew that Merab won by holding him against the cage. So he went and held him against the cage. Fighting Ricky Simone, he knew that it was a grappler, so he just sprawled and brawled and made him tired. Fighting Damon Blackshear, same ordeal, just a sprawl and brawl, make him tired. Guido Canetti, knows he has no jiu-jitsu, took him down and rear naked choked him. Like if you're a bad grappler, he will strike. If you are a bad striker, he will grapple. Or sorry, vice versa. If you're a good striker, he will grapple. If you're a good grappler, he will strike. And that's what he does. A very, very good fight IQ because he's good everywhere. He has high volume. Everything is good. Here are the cons. I don't know if he has a bad chin, but we've seen him rocked on more than one occasion, and we've seen him put out cold before. So his chin is not bad. It's a question mark. Secondly, and probably the worst part of his game, his takedown defense. 67% takedown defense. He has a very urgent get-up game, but this is a three-round fight, and he's fighting someone with the last name Nurmagomedov. If Damon Blackshear on short notice almost beat you by grappling, and I thought he did win the fight, to be honest with you, I think Nurmagomedov can out grapple you. So that's a concern. I think the over probably hits here, but I don't really trust Mario not to. I don't know if Cousin Umar is going to be on a revenge tour after losing a title fight. So I'm not playing games. I'm just going to go ahead and eat that chalk. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick Cousin Umar Nurmagomedov and I'm going to bet Umar Nurmagomedov as a huge favorite. Next fight of the night, we have first of our two title fights. We have my girl, Verna Jandaroba, plus 150 going up against Mackenzie Dern at minus 175. Over under set at 2.5. Over 2.5 minus 260. Under 2.5 at plus 215. Let's start with my girl Verna because I'm going to be biased as hell. Verna is 37 years old, so she's up there. World-class jiu-jitsu. She's really, 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 really good on the ground. Her wrestling's okay. Very good scrambler. She will just get you into funky positions to get on top or get just a good position. Her striking's not very good. Not very good at all. Not a lot of volume, very low volume, which makes her kind of hittable when she's on the feet. But she has good jujitsu, or sorry, she has world-class jujitsu, and she is the scramble queen. If she can grab a hold of a part on your body and you hit the ground, she will pull guard into a sweep on the way down. Like she is just really, really funky. That's all it comes down to. And if you are not proficient on the ground, she's gonna make you her bitch. Like she will sub you with the quickness, or if you're decent on the ground, she will take you down and she will just hold you down and just keep control over position over submission because she does get tired. She doesn't have the world's greatest cardio, so she's not a good striker. She doesn't have good cardio, but she has world class grappling. If you're not good on the ground, she's going to own you. That's why this rematch is an issue because Mackenzie Dern is her equal on the ground. Mackenzie Dern is 32 years old. Her striking is not very good, but it's improved since their last fight, and it's gotten much better. Her cardio is actually very good, much better than Verna's. Her wrestling's not very good. I will say Verna's the better wrestler. And in regard to a jiu-jitsu, Verna's big ace in her hole. It's a wash. They're both very, very good on the ground. They're equally as good as the other one. 25% takedown defense is a terrible number for Mackenzie Dern, and we need Verna to exploit that. But every second this is on the feet, it's advantage Dern. Every second that it's on the ground, it's advantage whoever's on top, essentially. Um, Mackenzie's also pretty hittable, but she pressures a ton. And optically, it's going to look good. The crowd's going to be behind Dern. One girl is like, one girl has fake boobs and is kind of hot. The other girl has one eye and looks like the guy from One Piece. So obviously, the UFC prefers for Mackenzie Dern to win this fight, unfortunately. Do I think she does it? Fuck no. I'm not turning my back on my girl. And I'm going to rock with Verna till the end. So the pick is going to be Mackenzie Dern because that's what the UFC wants. The bet's going to be Verna because she's the dog and she's my girl. Then that takes us to the main event of the evening. If you haven't already, smash that like button. Give a follow over on Twitter, over on Instagram, over on TikTok, wherever there's social media. There's the Stats and Stacks podcast. We have the granddaddy of them all. We have Tommy Aspinall at minus 400 going up against Serial Gane at plus 300. Over under set at just 1.5. Over 1.5 minus 130. Under 1.5 at plus 110. Let's start with Cyril Gane and his bitch ass. Nothing against Cyril Gane. I'm not a big fan. He's 3-2, sorry, 13-2. He's 35 years old. He has a 3-inch reach advantage, which is good. He has really, really good striking, great striking. Technically speaking, on a technical basis, better than Tom's. He has good cardio. He throws a ton of volume. And that's about it. That's really about it. He's your standard heavyweight. He can hit hard. He chooses not to. He likes to point fight. He's a point fighting athletic heavyweight. He is just an athletic specimen with just striking technique to boot. That's really what it comes down to. If you want to strike with this guy, he's more often than not a better technical striker than you. That's what it comes down to. And at heavyweight, you don't really have a lot of wrestlers, and they all just stand and bang. And you have these power strikers going up against this athletic freak with supreme technique, and he just dances around them and points fights the entire time. And then they get a little tired, and he knocks them out, or he just point fights his entire way and just stays safe. Name of the game is stay safe. Don't let the power punchers hit you. Keep your distance, use your athleticism, outstrike them, outpoint them, make it look easy. That's what Cyril Gane does. Now, he has two career losses. They were to Francis and they were to John Jones, two of the greatest heavyweights to ever walk the planet. The problem is they both use the same approach, grappling. Don's jiu-jitsu is not very good, and he's rocking a 43% takedown defense. So that's not good at all. If you can't stuff a takedown, at least know what's going on the ground, and he can do neither. And that's where this fight gets interesting. Tom Aspinall, most of his wins are by KO. He's freakishly fast. He might be just as fast as Cyril Gane, if not faster. He hits harder than Cyril Gane. He dude has a ton of power. He's never gone to decision. Every single one of his wins, all 15 wins, are by finish. Carries a ton of power, a ton of speed. Might have the crowd behind him. He's a little bit of like one of the faces of the UFC currently. The thing with him, though, is that he has a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He knows what's going on the ground and has a submission on record in the UFC. We just talked about him going out there and getting a submission win over Alexander Volkov earlier. I've seen his wrestling. It's not bad. Curtis Blades, a good wrestler. Didn't really shoot a lot of takedowns, but Tom was ready. And we saw Tom go out there and shoot a blast double against Andre Arlovski in his fight. Now, we did see Tom get tired in that very same fight in round two. So I'm not sure how his cardio is, but it may not matter if he just KOs everyone all the fucking time. So it really comes down to on the feet, it's probably a wash, and I'll give a slight edge to Gane. But the power advantage definitely goes to Aspinall. In regards to the wrestling, it goes to Aspinall. In regards to jiu-jitsu, it goes to Aspinall. In regards to cardio, it goes to Gane. So, do you prefer the striking and cardio or the wrestling and grappling? I think it's 50-50. The difference is Gane can't submit Aspinall. Aspinall can KO Gane. Aspinall has he has more ways to win, simply. He has the crowd behind him. Minus 400 is a little steep. I think that's way too high, but I do think he gets the job done. The pick is going to be Tommy Aspinall. The bet is going to be Tommy Aspinall. And that is UFC 321. It's a pretty fun fight card, and I love that it's in the morning. So wake up, get your breakfast ready, sit down, and enjoy making some money on some fights. Let's get after it.